Hi guys, this is Carrie. Welcome to A Crone's Life. I just got a beautiful package for my birthday. This is from Kathy Kerr. I noticed that she made this by hand. It is a little tic-tac-toe game. I think that my granddaughter and I can play this. It's so adorable. I am very, very excited. Cannot wait to give this a shot. It's adorable. Look at the unicorn. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you so much. That's so pretty. She did give me a skirt as well. I put it in the other room so that I wouldn't forget that Elena gets to wear it. And I have not opened her box yet. So we are going to do this together. What a sweet birthday gift. What? Nuh-uh. She got me the soul cards. I said I hadn't made a decision about this yet, and she heard me. Oh, Kathy, you're so sweet. Yes, these are so nice. Thank you. Oh, look at them. They're in like perfect shape. Man, what did I do that was so good to deserve this? You are such a nice person. So, she gifted me the soul cards, the pack number 2. That is so nice. I'm really into these oracle decks that don't have any keywords, so this is, look at his face. This is so great, a way to expand an oracle study that I haven't had a chance to do yet. I'll put this together. This might be part of next week's setup. Oh, this is awesome. Wow. Oh, crazy emotions, right? This is really cool. I've not ever put my hands on this deck before. I've only ever seen it on other people's videos. And the colors are amazing. That's not at all what I expected. Wow. And this is fantastic. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you so much. Let's see what the other thing is. I'm turning 54 this year. Ooh, it looks vintage. And it's never been opened. What is this one? Oh, this... Yeah, this is like the King Arthur Avalon. Is it the Avalon series? Oh, hold on. Oh man, amazing, amazing. I really should have waited to open this box. I'm sorry I took a little break because I got so excited I couldn't even think right. This is the Arthurian Tarot, and Miranda Gray is the illustrator, and she also did my Merlin Tarot. And according to this, which I had no idea, there's another one called the Hollow Quest. And, you know, what would be really cool is if it were an oracle. So I'm going to check into that and see if I can get the oracle that goes with the Arthurian tarot. I think the Merlin tarot is really its own thing. Like, for serious, it doesn't even follow like traditional tarot structure. This is very structured. I mean, this is very recognizable as tarot structured. I don't think there's going to be any kind of problems reading it. I would like to get the guidebook just because they say that like number 2 through 9 is areas in Britain that are significant to the Arthurian story. And to be honest with you, I'm not a scholar of the story of Arthur, and I mean, I know what most people know about King Arthur, but I don't know a lot of the places, the articles. I mean, I know the Grail, but you know what I'm saying. I really feel like there's a lot missing in my brain to make all of this as in-depth as it could be, of readings and meanings and connections that I could make. I just feel like I could use more information. Now, when I was a child, and I say child because I was probably 10 to 14, I was reading the Crystal Cave series. Boy, I got into that. And that's all very King Arthur and Merlin. But I really, like I said, that was how many years ago? Let's not talk about it, okay? Because that was a while. And I don't remember, I remember loving the writing and how I fell into the story, and it was just, what do you call it? Immersive. I loved the writing, but I cannot recall a lot of the details. And it's that way with a lot of the books that I read when I was young. I was really into fantasy, science fiction stories, so I read the Stones of Shannara, the Shannara series. Terry Brooks, I believe, was the author of those. And I mean, I think I read everything I could get my hands on by him, but at the time, he's a prolific writer, so there's a lot more that I haven't read because as I grew up, I started reading different things. And you know, when you get to be an older adult, we'll just say like 28 to 40, people just expect you to read more serious things like biographies and true stories, nonfiction and history. And to be honest with you, I've just never felt like there's a heavier weight put on something in my own mind because it's real. In fact, I think that because something is real, it's almost scarier. It's a bad thing. Because if it's fiction, then I can pretend like this would never in the real world happen. Sorry. But this encourages me to go back and look at the Crystal Cave series and really consider rereading all of that. I am so amazed at the generosity of Kathy. She has to be the sweetest person that you could have around. And I'm planning on doing something really nice for her. I can't wrap my head around anything. Like I said, I'm so hyper right now. I mean, super excited, and it's just like, so I don't make a whole lot of sense, but I want to do something really sweet for Kathy. If you guys have any suggestions, just throw them out there to me. I would be open to creative ideas. I would really like to hand make something for her, but I'm not positive what I could get done in a, because I'd like to do this fairly quickly. I don't want her to wait for a thank you gift or anything. So this was my birthday present. I didn't show you the little skirt that she sent for my granddaughter. I don't know if that really matters, but it's adorable. It's got gold stars on it. It's tulle, like a tutu little thing, red. My granddaughter's gonna love it. She just is so into that right now. It's gonna be fantastic. So again, thank you, Kathy Kerr. I really hope everybody understands just how, and it's not gifts, it's just when someone thinks about you and takes you through their day and thinks about you when you don't even know, but you learn about it. It's like, I'm so touched that I can be a part of her life. I can be a part of anybody else's life. I find that to be magic. So thank you. And there's more to this video because I'm going to do a whole lot of birthday things, but this is a very special part of the video, specifically dedicated to Kathy and for anybody who wants to give me suggestions for what would be a lovely kindness for her. That's a quick turnaround because I don't want her waiting for it. Okay, moving on. Thank you. So, as I've said before, this is my birthday weekend, and I'm going to go ahead and do a birthday spread. Hopefully I won't get any kind of crazy messages that you guys will be very uncomfortable with, but we're taking a risk. So, I want to use the decks that I've been using through the week, and one of those decks, again, is from Kathy Kerr. She was, she had sent me a few things that I didn't expect along with something that I bought from her, so I'm using her her oracle deck. And the cards have been really, really cool. I love the guidebook. I think the guidebook is so, like, I can just pick out exactly the meanings that it seems like I need. So, yes, the Harmony Angel cards, I've got everything set up right over here so that I can look up meanings if I need to. I'm also using an oracle that is the Alleyway oracle. It's the Oracle of Play. I was not sure about using that oracle for the week because it is kind of odd. It's an odd deck. Anybody who knows the Alleyway stuff, you know that it's all crazy cards. Oh, I moved them. I didn't know where I'd put them. So they're cards from other decks, and they're just sized and put on the same kind of cardstock. But that's really the only difference. They have the size is exactly the same, and the cardstock is exactly the same as each other, which would be different if you had, like, say I have the Fates deck, I have a few of these, so the card might be a different size in my deck, and it would definitely be on different cardstock. So what they did was basically make it where you can shuffle it. And these are all the backs, but I've been using this through the week, and I have a few things to say about my week, but for right now, just to know that this surprised me. I was very surprised by the guidebook for this. I'm not drawn to every single artwork, every card that has, you know, artwork on it. I'm not drawn to every one of them, but there are quite a few that are just, I don't know, like I said, surprising. See, this one is so cute. It's got the foiling, and, you know, some are not impressive. I'm not impressed by the artwork, but I think that oh, that's gorgeous. I think that the guidebook makes up for all, I have this deck, that's really cool. Makes up for all the craziness. Like Spinosaurus, for instance, I got that one day and I was just like, what? If you knew the question that was asked and then I get this, it's like, okay, straight off the bat, that doesn't make any sense, but you go to the guidebook and it does. It comes together. So this, so these are the two oracles that I have for now, for my birthday spread. And I've got 2 tarot decks, so I like this card. Let's put this one on top. I've got The Way Home. This was my birthday card that I drew, just a single card. I wanted to ask my guides about what I can look forward to after my birthday for this next year, and I got the Wheel of Fortune, and that was a total trip. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. In this particular book, they talk about how the Wheel of Fortune is if you look at it and you pay attention to the coincidences, the synchronicities in your life, you'll notice the cycles that you keep putting yourself through. So like self-sabotage and lying to yourself and throwing yourself into survival mode even though you're really fine. These cycles that if you don't break them and you don't learn from them, they're just going to keep going. So that's what my Wheel of Fortune was about, and I'm working on that. We've got some goals we're going to set for this next year. And I don't do resolutions because I feel like I'm just going to let myself down. It's happened too often where I've just said, I'm definitely going to start walking every day. I'm definitely going to start eating better. And, you know, those are good goals. But if you tell yourself, I'm resolute about this and I'm going to do this, and, you know, you start with that kind of mindset, I feel like I let myself down. And then I'm just on this other kind of death spiral where I'm like, I hate myself. I'm so bad. I'm a horrible person, blah, blah, blah. So I do goals, and goals are easier to get over if you don't stick to them. You can say, okay, well, let's get back on our goal, and you can jump back onto your good habits or go back to trying to continue and decrease the bad habits. So Harmony Angel, Alleyway Oracle Play, and Wayhome Tarot. I'll show you. Well, I'm sure you've seen this, but these are some of the artworks in this. Again, I think I've said this before, but I'm going to say it again. The guidebook for this is actually called WTF is Tarot. And it not only is a guidebook, it does tell you all about tarot and how to read and, you know, whoops. Yeah. Intuitive reading versus learning the meanings, Rider-Waite-Smith style, and so on. It's a really good book. I haven't started from the beginning and worked to the end or anything, but using it as a guidebook, I like the descriptions of the cards. So, fantastic. This, let's see. Now I'm just making sure that my cards are all turned the right way. I don't do reversals. Not that I would leave it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'll take 2 or 3 cards for my spread question before I would take a reversal. I think reversals are a little too vague, and every time I've tried to do the meanings of reversals, I don't feel satisfied. So I continue to just, I'll take 2 or 3 cards, whatever falls out. I like to do jumpers. So that's the Way Home. And my last deck that I've been using this week is the Spheres of Heaven, right? This is the Sefirot Tarot. And again, I really like this deck. It's a pip deck, and you can read it Marseille style if you want to. The guidebook, it has kind of a storyline, so you could definitely go by your Rider-Waite-Smith knowledge if you choose to. That doesn't deviate too much from that, but it has extra little, I don't know, tidbits that can add to your reading if you use the guidebook. I personally like to use guidebooks because, you know, it reinforces what I feel I'm getting out of the reading, and it oftentimes adds new connections that I can use in other situations, not just this particular reading. So, great deck, beautiful artwork. I'm a fan. And let's get started on my spread. So, I want to start with Kathy's Harmony Angel deck. And we'll see how many cards we get from this. The first question is a card to represent my birthday message from my guides. Okay, a birthday message from my guides is the Sandalphon, Angel of Prayer, and Sakwhale, Angel of the Sky, the card of guidance through the divine awareness. Page 82. In this reality, the invisible and the visible may merge, as the veil between the two is so thin. However, you will still have to learn to listen before contact is established. Let the angels be your link to other dimensions. If you have not already found one or more white feathers, usually 3, you will soon do so. And this symbolizes that the angels ask you to let them be your guides in the spiritual direction. Sakwhale assures you that the sky is the limit in this respect, but the choice is still yours. This card reminds you of your divine connection from which you can always receive guidance. Sandalphon hears all your needs and conveys them to the Creator on your behalf. Your prayers and invocations turn to beautiful flowers as they ascend to heaven. You must then await the response of angels, guides, and masters to begin your spiritual journey. It is not easy for them to make contact, and they may use your meditations, dreams, words from songs, or the message of these cards to awaken your consciousness to the world. If you accept what is offered, learn to trust. Synchronicity will then start to happen, opening the door to love and light. Sorry if I read that really clumsily, but that was a lovely message. Oh my goodness. The next question is, how do my ancestors say happy birthday? Well, this is an ancestors. Let's do the way home for ancestors. Okay, I got 4 cards. That's going to make for a long reading if I do the whole thing. But the question was, how do my ancestors say happy birthday? The 10 of Wands is quite a burden. 2 of Pentacles, balance. 3 of Swords, heartbreak. 4 of Wands is celebration. So I guess if I'm going to turn this into something before I read the guidebook, it would be, we may have a lot going on in our lives. We have lots of family to be grateful for, but, we're also taking care of them. We've got a need to have balance where we can love ourselves as well as our family. And we can get hurt by ourselves and the ones we love if we don't pay attention to the balance that's there, or the balance that needs to be there. And then the celebration is that through all of this in-between stuff, the burden and the balance, yes, we hurt the ones we love, but there's always this to look forward to. Let's tuck some of that behind. I really like the 10 of Wands because burden and love are hand in hand, and I've learned that more with my mother than I have with anything in my life. Kids will give you the best feelings and the worst feelings at the same time, but it's totally different when you're taking care of your own parents. So 10 of Wands is a great card. I love it. I know that sounds funny, but it's always I mean, there's a lot of cards in the deck that just remind me to be grateful, but the Ten of Wands is one of those cards where it's kind of smacking you around, saying, you know that everything that hurts is worth it. So let's find some gratitude. And the Four of Wands is so lovely because this is how I feel about celebration. You know, a bonfire, beautiful string lights, playing outside, enjoying an evening with everybody, sitting around the fire. You know, this is the celebration that I would have for with my family. So the next question is, how can I celebrate myself this year for my birthday? I kind of want to do the way home again. You know what? Let's do the Oracle of Play, because that's a random, that's a wild card. It's a wild card. We're gonna ask ourselves, how can I celebrate myself this year for my birthday? I got the Vow. Whenever another card would be flipped, the fates may flip this card instead. That's interesting, but I really need the guidebook for this one. Okay, the next question in the spread is, how have I grown this year of my life that I should be proud of? And we're using the Sefirot Tarot. This is the Spheres of Heaven. And again, I'll probably shuffle off camera because I'm afraid I'm going to knock things over. Got two cards. I got King of Pentacles and Temperance. So King of Pentacles is, and you guys please try to understand, I have certain things that cards mean to me because I've used them through different times in my life, but the King of Pentacles for me is, how well am I doing at taking care of my finances? Am I overspending, underspending? You know, never underspending, don't mind that. Just if I'm doing well, that has to do with ultimate finances. Temperance is probably more about whether or not I'm letting my vices kind of get the best of me. So being the opposite of the Devil card, I mean, in my mind, these are telling me that I've done better this year about not spending money and keeping myself in check with my willpower, probably. And I joke with people about how I have no willpower. If candy makes it into the house, candy is going to get eaten. That's just how it goes. Okay, so the next question is, what positive moment can I reflect on from this year of my life? Let's use the Harmony Angels again. Okay, I need the guidebook for this one. Let's see. First, we'll find it in the index. Cassiel, Angel, Ruler of Saturday and Saturn, the silver, white, and bronze obsidian rays, the cards of harmony, balance, and serenity. So on page 50, it tells more. There's always duality, happiness and sadness, laughter and tears, positive and negative. Without one, the other cannot fully be appreciated. reminds us that by perseverance and by converting challenges to opportunity, it is possible to transform darkness back to light. From suffering comes either bitterness to contrast the soul, or love and compassion to bring about its expansion towards serenity. And the last question is general birthday wishes from my spirit team. Kind of want to do the random alleyway. I wonder if they're called bunnies or if they're called rabbits. The heart. There are beautiful stories in our hearts that belong to us, that will hit us again years later and make us feel again in a way we haven't in a long time. We carry these burdens and loves because they belong with us, not because we are stuck with them. Notice is the power to make something seen, to make something noticed. This is often done through a formal action such as following tradition, going through the proper channels, or formatting something to be seen in a particular way by viewers. How interesting. That's a nice card. I don't really want to talk about what it means, but that's touching right there. That's nice. These two kind of go together in weird ways. We have things in our heart and we are noticing them. Not because we're stuck with them, but because they belong there. Very cool. Okay, moving on. Thank you guys. So the only other thing that I really wanted to talk about on my birthday video is things that I've noticed over the last year and things that I would like to change. So, and I say so a lot, I've noticed that too. This wobbly thing, I apologize. This last year, I watched the cycles that my attention goes through. Like, I am really into something and then it wanes and I need to revitalize. And those happen within the weeks because I change out my decks every week. I'm always excited on Sunday to get a new set of decks and have new visuals on my altar. I absolutely love changing out my decks weekly. I feel like I need to change things, like a big shift every 5 to 6 months, or I fall back. What the Baptists say, I backslide on my practice, and I don't want to do that. I want to stay abreast of my problem with attention and motivation, and what I'm planning to do to work with that is I'm going to do different altar setups every month. I'll change out my decks every week. I'll do different altar setups every month, and I'm going to go back to having just a few spreads that I use all the time so that I can compare the same spread to different decks, how they read and what they do. And I'm thinking this next year, from my birthday on. I would like to carry over one deck from my 4 to the next week, and that way it gives me more time with one deck, but see how it responds to other decks playing with it. That'll give me a chance to really do more in-depth learning, and that's what I'd like to do. I'd like to get back into retention mode and really know something, because oftentimes with me personally, I'm pretty terrible at saying, oh, I know that, and then moving on when I really don't know it yet. It takes me time. I mean, maybe that's everybody, maybe it's just me, but it takes me time to really absorb the feeling, the gist, the meanings, and the way something works. And I'm not ever one to tell you that I know something for sure. The only thing I know for sure is what's going on in my brain, like at the moment. So it's likely to change, and I don't know why I think the things I do sometimes, but I know my thoughts. That's all I can count on. But these are some plans coming for the next year, is changing out decks weekly, changing out altar cloths monthly, and maybe carrying over a deck from one week to the next, and so on. I'm still decluttering, and I'm working on some projects to maybe move some things along in a good way. Instead of throwing things away. You know, I hate that. That's like my big thing, is I really don't want something that I've owned to end up going to a landfill. I really want it to get used again, or repurposed, upcycled in some way. So working on that. And I want to thank everybody, though I didn't even mention you guys. I got some really sweet comments here on YouTube. Oh my goodness, my happy video got a sweet comment on Silver Crow Tarot, and I are chatting because we both travel quite a bit. She's been traveling like around the world. Oh my goodness. And Thea, good for you, going off into this wild unknown. I love to see people travel. But the comments that I've gotten are so encouraging and so sweet. I love this community, and thank you guys so much for all the kindness that you show me. You have no idea how it just, and it truly is the small things in my life, comments, sweet words that lift my spirits and just make me feel like what I'm doing is for the good of more than just me. I'm really just doing this for me, but if I can bring other people along and make them happy too, that's the best. That is truly worth any kind of editing nightmare that I put myself through. So thank you guys, and my birthday's in just a couple of days. Hopefully this will be up before my actual birthday, and I've got a couple more coming out. See you guys later.